rhetorical question or a question where I'm trying to get you hyped up and this is, unbelievable type, believe it or not. But the question is this, and it's a serious question, and I know the answer to it, but I want to know how you feel about the question. How many of you all in here believe that educators, teachers, is the most important profession that there is? How many don't? Okay. Can anyone tell me why you think that our job as educators? Oh, great, awesome. What's your name?
Personally, because teaching, we make all the other professions possible.
That's it. That's it.
What did he say?
Well, yeah, I think he's easy. Is that it?
Teachers make the
Teachers make all other professions possible.
Right, and like I said, I preface that by saying this is not some kind of motivational speaking where we're going to say things that are not true to get you hyped up. For instance, if you know your team is the Lions and y'all are like 0-80, but before every game you're coming up like, yeah, we're gonna kill them, and really, realistically, unless some things happen that y'all aren't gonna kill them, then that wasn't the nature of the question, okay? And then you say, well, how is it possible you can be 0-80? I mean, the Lions haven't won a game like in a couple seasons, not this season, but you know that, and there's no Lions around here, hopefully, but nevertheless, I asked the question because I do believe that educators are the single most important profession, even more important than the doctor that delivered you, the anesthesiologist who made sure that your mom didn't feel it, and all this kind of other stuff. Because, say your name again. Did you say it, Muhammad? Mm-hmm. Okay, Muhammad says what we do, we make all other professions possible, right? And we know the value of teaching because the teaching starts at home, or it should. The mother and the father, especially the mother, are the first teachers. So it's very important. It's vitally important what we do. So another question is this: how many of you love adults? You love people? Love adults or you love people? Adults. Shit, somebody said something. All right. Raise your hand if you don't necessarily love. And it's okay to be honest. You don't love people. You don't love adults. If you're in the middle, okay. A few people said some people said you're in the middle. So the thing is this: a lot of educators say they're in education because they love what? Children. They love kids. They love children, right? But in reality, if you're going to be an above average or better than average educator, and I'm glad everyone in here pretty much raised their hand and said they love adults. You really have to love adults because as leaders, you have to see what they can be, not what they are. Because a lot of times as leaders, we're guilty of arresting people in their development because we get onto them and chastise them for who they are, but in reality, we're supposed to be seeing where they can be and helping them get there. And so really, being a teacher and saying you love kids, that's kind of rote, that's kind of normal. But the above normal, the above average says, I love adults. I love what they're going to be in the end. So therefore, I'm going to stick by it. And that's the problem. Just a few things that I want to share with you here before I leave today. It's not going to be long. But a few things: the problem, the solution, and the strategy of how we get to that solution, how we execute that solution. So the number one problem is the problem that a lot of us are facing, and it's not specific or exclusive to any school, it's not specific or exclusive to any city. The problem is that epidemic of mediocrity or being average. And that is an epidemic. It's flowing over into so many of us. And when I say that, what I mean by that is this: is when I go to a restaurant, when I go to I'm not gonna name the restaurant because they're out of business now. I don't know if they had anything to do with it. But I go to a restaurant and I ask the young lady in the drive-through area, can I please get the smoked wings but with the buffalo sauce on there? And she says, no ma'am, we can't do that. Okay? And so I say, well, sure you can. I just want the smoked wings. I don't want the fried wings, but I want the buffalo sauce on them. No ma'am, we can't do that. So I drive around, I'm like, surely, by the time I get around and she has deduced that this is possible and I can get the smoked wings with the sauce on there. So I get around there. And the manager comes up. She's like, are you giving my kids a hard time? No, not necessarily. But I want to ask, so you said the fried wings come with the sauce on it, right? Yes, ma'am. You got the smoked wings. Yes, ma'am. So I can't get you to get whatever sauce you toss the fried wings in. I can't just get a little bit of that sauce and get my wings tossed in it. No, ma'am. The fried wings are the only ones that come. So are the wings pre-sauced? No, we sauce them here. So y'all are getting what I'm getting, right? Yeah. So I'm retired as a school teacher, but I'm saying, hey, somewhere we're missing it. If this young lady doesn't have this much critical thinking, problem solving or deductive reasoning, and she doesn't feel at liberty to make this decision, and the manager comes up and says, no, we can't make that decision. Guess what? We got work to do as educators. We got work to do, right? And so being average and saying that we love kids or we love students that's great. But in reality, that kid, that student is going to be in that drive-thru one day if they're not already. For y'all, I can say one day because you all teach younger children. I taught high school for 13 years. And so that the future is now, and being average is not going to break it. So the problem, if we can just accept the problem that it's being average, being mediocre, getting by, right? And can we agree that that's kind of the problem as far as educators being average, being mediocre, and letting that spread over into the kids, into the community? But what is the solution? So we look at being average, being mediocre, just doing enough to get by, coming to school and, letting all your emotions and your feelings kind of overtake you before you even gotten in the door. And it's a lot to deal with when we get in the door. But the solution, what is the solution? Anybody know what's the solution to that epidemic of mediocrity and being average? What's the solution to making a difference and not just making a living? And Ms. Brubaker already said, she was like, I think I kind of got rid of everybody that's just was kind of here for a paycheck. So hats off to you all. Give yourselves a hand because she must have think highly of you all. Because, all right, give yourself a hand. She said that I think I kind of got rid of all those people. Well, a couple people gave themselves a hand. But if somebody tells me to give myself a hand, I'm going to clap it up because I think highly of myself. But nevertheless, there are some people who just want to make a living. And then there are those of us who want to make a difference. Which one? Make a living, make a difference. You got to go beyond that mediocrity because it's a lot of teachers. There are a lot of teachers. There are a lot of custodial staff. There are a lot of paras. There are a lot of bus drivers. But what will make you different? What will make someone actually want to come to your class? And I think I know that you all don't have the problem of, kids changing classes and that kind of thing. But as a high school teacher, you had the problem of some students would skip teacher XYZ's class. And then they would say, this person's always skipping. I haven't seen them in XYZ days. And I'm like, are you talking about the same person that is early to my class? There has to be a reason that they're coming. And the solution to being better than average or getting over that mediocrity epidemic is just becoming better us, right? Being a better you. Having a better self to represent, right? So it's being a better you, and you probably are already great at what you do because, like I said, I didn't ask. She just told me. I was here for the Chamber of Commerce Education Committee meeting a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to Ms. Brubaker, and she said, "Well, yeah, I think we got a good group of people here because I think I've kind of eliminated the ones who don't want to be here, and that's a great thing." But sometimes people don't have a choice as to whether or not they want to be here. You say, "Well, how do you not have a choice?" Because even though they don't want to be here, they know that it's the way that they eat and the way that their children eat and that kind of thing. And as I came in as a young teacher, when I was 22, my first year teaching, I saw people that really should have been gone a long time ago because we're dealing with a new type of student these days. And you guys are dealing with an even newer type of student these days. So some people that were in the old school and probably should have left. Some people who thought teaching was a fallback career. That, if you can't succeed in this, fall back, and you can do that. But in reality, when you find out, what teaching actually takes and the people you come in contact with, really you'll soon be found out. And those are the people who are either very stressed and pulling their hair out or they're gone in a short period of time. And so the thing is, a couple things, if you can just go with me just a little bit, a couple things, I won't be here long, but just a few things that you all can do just to become a better you. Not that you're not great already, but I'm always looking to become a better person because every day somebody's waiting to eat my lunch. There's somebody waiting to say, hey, you didn't make, your scores don't reach this. Your scores don't reach that. Hey, can we come and talk to you because this? We can send in somebody to take over. We can send in somebody to do this. But in reality, everything starts with us. That's it. It's just the epidemic of mediocrity. It goes over into the kids and the communities, but really it starts with the energy we give us. So one thing is this. I would like to say that energy is everything. Energy is what? Everything. Energy is everything. The energy that we give out is everything. So one thing is just managing your energy. One thing is just managing your energy. Energy, I have bad penmanship, is what? Everything. Thank you. Energy is everything. So if it's just a little bit of making sure that you have the right energy to bring in, because the energy, I heard somebody say this, as a matter of fact, I think it was on the movie Malcolm X, the one where Denzel played Malcolm X, but actually he was talking, Malcolm X was talking to Angela Bassett because he was courting her then, and he was like, we got to be careful of our women because whatever message our women gives to the child, that child gives to the world, right? So I think that's even more so true for teachers. The energy that we bring is contagious. Energy is contagious. It transfers. If you know people and every time you see them come, you're like, oh, you're going this way, right? And there are people that are in your family, there are people in your building, there are people everywhere who have that energy and you just want to get away from it. But one thing is to become a better you and just doing something that will definitely take you to the next level. I promise you, if you have not tried this, try it. The thing is this, I want you to do one thing right, and it is snooze the news. Snooze the news. Okay, snooze the news. Anybody know what I mean? Or think you know what I mean by snooze the news? Snooze the news.
Just don't watch it.
Don't look at the news, right? Sleep on the news. Why is it? And the thing is this. I call the news acronym Negative Everything World Show. The Everything in the World Show. The Negative Everything in the World Show. When you get the news and you get it first thing in the morning, you're just saying, I don't have enough problems of my own. I'm going to wake up and take the world's problems on me. And it's no wonder that you get up and you're barking at people and this person ticked you off and this person in traffic. You don't have really any room to entertain anything less than good because you already have a whole lot of negative that you just took on voluntarily just by hitting that button, right? So snooze the news. How many people get up in the morning and read something positive or affirm something positive or listen to some positive music? Okay, that was a few people, okay? Maybe a little less than about a third of the room, okay? A lot of people say, I gotta watch the news, That's kind of old school, and I deal with people who sometimes you feel like they're bipolar, they have issues, and I'm like, well, one thing, why don't you just try not watching the news in the morning? See how your day goes without watching the news. Trust me, if it's something that is imperative for you to hear, you will hear it because people talk. By the time you get to school, you're going to hear it. Or by the time you say, well, maybe it'll be too late. Then usually if it's something severe weather or something, we hear what? Those little sirens. And so it's like, okay, let me go check the news or who gets the alerts on their phone, all right? Versus getting up and saying, hey, world, I don't have enough negative problems. I don't have enough issues. Pour it on me. I want to see who got shot, who got stabbed, who got robbed, who the police are looking for, what the president has to say about this, what group of people are doing this, what group of people are doing that. So one thing is snooze the news. Snooze the news and see how differently your day goes. Okay? Snooze the news. And another thing is this. And it's a little high on the paper, but it's something I call 5G. Everybody know about internet connection, right? So is 5G the highest now, or are we going to 6G? They're having the 5G connection so that you get the best internet. 5G, right? So 5G. So here's 5G's at the end of your day, just looking back over your day and reflecting. And you may not need any help meditating and reflecting over your day, but if you do, here's a tool that I think is great. It's 5G. So at night when you get ready to go to sleep, before you go to sleep, just take some time for yourself. And that's another piece of it as well, just taking some time for you, even if it's just 10 minutes, because guess what? There's something, and just a second, I forgot to bring my prop right here. All right, anybody know what this is? It's kind of small, but I can take it out. You probably can see it a little better because it's kind of inhibited by the plastic right now. But anybody know what this is?
That's a mask or a nebulizer machine.
All right, so it's kind of like a gas mask type oxygen mask, right? You hook it up to something and you can get some oxygen. A lot of times on the plane they have it hooked up to a bag. Thankfully, I've never had to see them on the plane because, you know, if you see them on a plane most of the time, that means it's going down or something's happening. So they get on, they tell you the instructions, right? So hopefully I never have to see one of these, but I will ask if I can have one next time I'm on the plane. But this is an oxygen mask, right? You hook it up to something, you can get oxygen in the event that you go somewhere and the air quality is compromised, right? So, who's flown on a plane before? Who's ever flown? Who likes to fly? I love to fly, right? You get there quick, you're in the clouds, everything's wonderful, right? So when the young lady, usually they have some young lady stand up, but a lot of times it's video or it's digital now. They play a little video for you. But some are still old school. They have that young lady come stand in the middle of the aisle. She does all this kind of stuff about your seatbelt and this kind of stuff, this kind of thing, right? So she says, in the event that we lose pressure, cabin pressure, this happens, make sure you get your oxygen mask out and help your neighbor. If you have little children, put it on them first, and then secure your own mask, right?
No, you put it on you first. On your children.
All right.
Because if you're passed out.
I thought that woman doesn't fly.
All right. So 2 or 3 people was like, no, that's not the case. Why? Because if you're passed out, you can't help anyone, okay? If you come to work already compromised, if you come to work already tired and already drained of energy, either because you have not eaten right, you haven't slept right, you watched the news in the morning, you didn't manage things the right way, guess what? It's very difficult or going to be nearly impossible to help someone else. If your gas mask is beside you while you're putting it on your baby, the baby might make it, and that might be your dream for the baby to make it, but what if both of you all made it? Because you put yours on first, and then you put his or hers on, And then now you're there to see your child through, and he or she is not left alone because you decided to do this for somebody else first. And a lot of times as teachers, especially as mothers, no shade to the fathers right now, but especially as mothers, especially as teachers, we want to put the oxygen mask on somebody else first. And in turn, we end up losing ourselves. Totally flatline, we're out, right? But the thing is this, a lot of our, well, I'm not gonna say a lot, all of our babies that come through these doors, a lot of times, if we put it on them first, and we're trying, and we pass out in the midst of doing that, they've lost the only person that cares. They've lost the only person that had a chance to get through to them, because you see something that maybe mama and daddy don't see. And that's the thing, going back to that being average, being mediocre, just saying that, oh, listen, the parents won't get involved. That's a problem. I taught school for 13 years at Albany High, okay? It's supposed to be one of the poorest, worst neighborhoods, whatever, okay? I never had that encounter. All my babies were great, okay? And so when we say, you know what, the parents won't get involved, or the state, the county, they want too much of us. We have to do too much paperwork. We have to do this. They want us to collaborate together. I need to be by myself. I need this, this, and this. And we say, hey, it can't be done. So listen, I don't think they should come in and start measuring us and paying us by what we get done and that kind of thing. But think about that. Think about that. What are you saying about yourself? And what are you saying about the quality of your work when you say, well, I don't think we should be penalized if our kids don't do this, this, and this, because we have all this stuff going against us. How many people have actually had a child? You have a baby, you have a child, okay? So imagine if you do, and the man raised his hand back, your significant other had a child, okay? All right. I'm really sensitive about that because it takes a lot, right? All right. So imagine you go to your OB and it's a couple of months into your pregnancy, and your OB says, your child is supposed to be this weight, or this is supposed to look like this now, but he or she is not there. And so you just wait, you about 2 months, wait till about 7 months, and then we're gonna deliver the child, probably stillborn, and then we'll just start over again. How does that sound? Is that gonna work? You're 2 months in now, with all the technology we have, with what this person has been trained and the money that they make to do that, they say, listen, I don't think the child's not growing, the child's not getting nutrients and that. What do you expect for that doctor, that OB, to come to you and say, rather than what I just said? Somebody tell me, what other message would he come to you or she come to you with that would be satisfactory for you, or actually that would make sense, something that you probably normally may have heard? What would be a satisfactory message for that OB to come with?
Start taking prenatal vitamins.
All right, start taking prenatal vitamins. Anybody else?
We're going to do everything that we can to make sure.
We're going to do everything we can to make sure. Right, okay, so we can hook this up, we can give you this, we can get that, we're going to do this and that. And guess what? Things should be fine after this. We're going to check this in a few. But guess what? A lot of times we say, as educators, not been there before, oh man, I got all this stuff against me. I'm just going to tell them it can't be done. Tell them to come in here and teach the class. Tell them to come in here and do this, this, and this. When in reality, it's all about becoming a better us. What we have to have, whatever it takes. What can I do? If parents won't come in, guess what? Reach out to community members and say, hey, we're having a PTO meeting, we're having a meeting, we need parents to come in, can y'all sponsor a meal? I'll tell you one thing about poverty, food will move people. Y'all probably know that already, right? As a broke college student, I don't care what it is, we're going to teach you how to catch alligators in the wild. There's certain food, let's go. Right? That's how they got you to a lot of stuff in college, right? All right, so being strategic, and that goes back to a couple of things when I say have some time for yourself to reflect. Sometimes it's a problem that your building or your district has been looking for a solution for a long time, but because you have so much going on and they demand so much of you and you allow them to take so much, you don't even have 5-10 minutes at night just to sit and reflect. And God might give you an answer and say, hey, they've been having a problem with attendance. What if we do it this way?
That's right.
And you brought it up, and now you're like, boom, you're on the front page of Doherty County School System website. You invited a partner to come in, and so many people willing to jump in and get involved and say, hey, we'll sponsor that meal. We'll sponsor that meal just so you can get parents out, because we know what it means to this community, right? But that's the difference between being that average, that below average educator, and just saying, hey, let them deal with it. Once they come in and they bring me in for my conference, I'm going to tell them, listen, this is what's going on. I have 30 kids in the room. I have 2 parents that have actually called in, 1 that came in. This is what's going on, this, and this, and hey, y'all deal with it. Or the other, the average educator that says, hey, I'm going to do my best, and then we're going to see where it goes from there. But the above average educator said, listen, let me take some time to reflect, because I would not let a doctor come in and tell me 2 months in that my child's not going to make it, and they have not tried anything. They have not tried everything, everything possible. And that's the thing, coming with a new you, a better you, because guess what? We do have babies, and I'm talking about high school babies, college babies, whatever age you all teach, K through 5 babies, that they're in that 2-month period on a 9-month cycle. And guess what? The only way they're going to make it, if you do everything possible. If you say, hey, listen, I know this is going on. I know this is going on. Let me have some good energy for you, because I'm the only positive energy that you have. Just a few of those tricks. And some of you already use some of those tricks. Just being at that door saying good morning, saying their name. Every person's most favorite word in the English language is their name. Or just saying, hey, listen. I love the fact that she said in y'all's report that y'all have a better, above average standing for students who say that they believe there's an adult in the building who can and will help them. That's awesome. Y'all give yourselves a hand for it. A real hand. That's awesome. That is awesome, because it's not always true. So I believe what Ms. Brubaker said, that, you know, all the bad weeds have probably been weeded out. But let's go back to this 5G thing for a minute, okay? 5G, just 5 Gs. At the end of the day, if you just have 10 minutes, 5 minutes, it might not take you that long. But 5G, just have it in your little journal, your little diary. And if you already have something that works for you, great. But I'm just lending a tool. Okay, the first G is, what am I grateful for? What am I what? Grateful for. Gratitude. Okay, gratitude. You cannot think about something negative and positive at the same time. It just can't happen. Now, you can think about something negative immediately after you think a positive thought. But when you're having a bad day, or just at the end of your day, just stopping to think about 5 things you're grateful for. I'm grateful that my kids are here. I know where they are. They're at a school getting educated right now. They're healthy. They're strong. I'm grateful that I have a place of work that I can go to. And it's not a job. It's my life work. So I've been retired for a long time. Some people say, hey, there's a difference between job and work. Your life work, if you want to be here and you love to do this, you retired. Okay, you stop working, because guess what? Or excuse me, you quit your job. Working is always going to take energy. It's always going to take you to put something forth. But when you love to do it, it's your life work versus your job. So gratitude, finding something what am I grateful for at the end of this day, or even when you're just having a bad moment. 2, the second G, okay, gave. What did I give today? What did I give today? And it doesn't always have to be monetary things. It doesn't always have to be material things. Yes, I've been places and people say, you know what, I like those shades. Okay, you like them? Here you go. Now, don't let that backfire on you, because people will go and tell other people, and then they'll come by you and try to give a compliment. Oh, you like my shades? Thank you. I like yours too. Versus, you can have it, right? Be led of your spirit that leads you, okay? But what did I give today? Whether it was a little bit of advice to somebody, a little encouragement to somebody, did I give somebody some extra time that they didn't deserve, they didn't need, or that they needed? What did I give today? And sometimes it's money. Sometimes you bought somebody lunch, or you did something, and guess what? A lot of times we don't know exactly how important we've been in somebody's life that day until we sit back and reflect, okay? The third G, what did I gain today? What did I gain? What did I get today that I didn't have? And it could be that I gained support from a parent that I've been reaching out to and they never showed up, but they finally showed up. Or did a child come and give me a hug today, or tell me, hey, you're the best teacher ever, or I'm just glad to see you this morning, or today is payday, I got my check, I gained that, right? Or I got a bonus, or I got, what did I gain today? Okay? The fourth G, we're on 4, right? What did I give up? What did I give up? That's not the same thing as gave. Gave is positive. Give up. What negative did I release today? And I'm saying goodbye to it so that I can be a better person, not just for me, but for the little baby that's 2 months into the 9-month term, and they need my help to make it all the way through. What did I give up? What did I release? Was it the argument that I had with somebody in or outside of school? Was it my stubbornness that I cannot work with anybody in the team, or me wanting to do this? What did I give up? And then the last G in 5G. What am I going for? What am I going for? What's my goal? It could be the goal that I want to finish reading 10 pages before I go to bed tonight. Or am I going to what am I doing tomorrow? What's my goal tomorrow? Do I want to get 10 parents called tomorrow? Or do I want to make sure that the kids score at least 80% on the quiz? What am I going for? So the 5G is a way to reflect on your day and also frame what you have ahead of you. And so really, it's a microcosm inside the larger world of, listen, what's going on with me? Because if I put this on somebody else first and I pass out, that's the last life I'll change, right? So making sure that I'm a quality me, that I have super high, fantastic energy to give somebody, because they won't make it unless I do. That's my responsibility. That's my responsibility to not let other people capitalize and monopolize my time. And this might be a little touchy right here. But the third one, lose. And I have horrible penmanship. I type everything. So I'm going to tell it to you also. All right. Lose the losers. Lose the losers. Even if you can't do it all, for the rest of your life, just do it for 30 days and see how much better you feel. What do I mean by lose the losers? Anybody think they know what I mean by when I say lose the losers?
People that are no help. The ones
People that are negative.
Those, I talk economics. Those people who are liabilities rather than what? Assets. All right, so y'all know some econ too. All right, so the people who take energy from you all the time, they never give you anything positive, never have anything to contribute, they never have, and as a matter of fact, they want to waste your time. It's planning period, and guess what? They think it's playing period. They want to come and talk and listen. You look up, and now the bell is sounded. I don't know if y'all have planning periods, but it's supposed to be a work session, but really it was a play session. All right, now I'm gonna tell you, when my first year of teaching, I thought the planning period was a time for me to sleep. Because I was just that drained. Because I was a below average teacher. Teaching was in my heart, but it wasn't in my head and my hands. I had not done everything that I needed to make sure that I had content and context, that I had a great environment for the students to come to and something worth teaching them, right? So I was so drained, okay, from just trying to fake it till I make it. When the bell rang, whether it was the middle of the day, if I had third period, fourth period planning, I closed my door and sat down and went to sleep, right? And then it hit me. If I'm saying that they're paying me here to teach students, and we used to say this thing, well, I'm teaching, they're not learning, then you gotta go revisit the definition of teaching, okay? If you have not caused anyone to learn, you have not taught. You've taught, you might have played games, you might have made some friends, but if people have not learned, we have not taught. And yes, there are all types of external factors that go on, but one thing can we always control? The only thing we can control, us, me. I'm the only person. I can make sure that my energy is good when I come here. I can make sure that I'm having some time to reflect on problem solving, that I know the problem, and now I have a solution going, okay? Or I'm working towards a solution, right? So the problem was everybody wants to be average, everybody wants to be mediocre and just get by. Right? Homecoming is coming up. I had a person I was talking to, he owns a business. He was like, yeah, please hook me up with these people. I know you can hook me up with staffers because the turnover is like crazy. When homecoming comes up, people just don't come back. Or they call in, that kind of thing. And I could be stepping on some toes, I'm not sure. But you got the mediocre, the average person, the below average person says, I just want to get by. And then you have the other people say, I need to do what I need to do because people depend on me, because these kids don't need any more excuses. Their daddy and mama gave them an excuse. This is why I can't be with your mama. This is why I can't be with your dad. This is why you don't have food. This is why we gotta wait till this time so you can get that. They're all out. They're all burned out on excuses. And so when we come with an excuse, they're like, oh man, he's just like such and such. She's just like such and such. But I'm gonna take the time to be a better me because I know I'm the only chance a lot of them have. Most of them, okay? All right, the next one is this. Truly do this thing right here. Truly. Y'all probably don't even though I have bad penmanship, I'm going to spell it out for you. You probably still don't even know what it means. R-E-S-T. Truly do what?
Rest.
Take some rest. Take some rest. Some of us want to be more powerful than God. Oh, I work on the weekend, such and such. A lot of times if you go back and lose the losers and tell people to get out of your planning period talking about what happened on XYZ show or what's going on the other end of the building, you will have time to do what you need to do in the 5 days instead of taking work home all the time. And I know it's demanding, okay? I know it's demanding. Y'all have, 30, 40 children, all right? High school, we had hundreds of them. I know it's demanding, but nevertheless, I learned that if I do what I'm supposed to do to manage me, I don't know what your leadership philosophy is, but I heard somebody say this, it's an African proverb, okay? If there is no enemy within, the enemy without can do me no harm. If there is no enemy within, if I conquer myself first, whatever foolishness you have for me, I already know how to deal with it. I already know that these children don't need excuses. So whether I have some issues at home, whether I have issues with the person that works next to me, whether I have issues with X, Y, Z, when I learn how to conquer myself, I know how to deal with them properly so that when I show up, I'm the best me ever. And so Charlie, and I don't say little Johnny, little Johnny, they wear him out, right? Example.
Johnny,
So Charlie, okay, Charlie was looking forward to seeing you that day, but when you came there, you had drama for Charlie. You had drama for Charlie because we weren't, and that's my timer. We had drama for Charlie because we didn't learn how to deal with drama without internalizing drama, okay? So do the 5G, get some rest, lose the loser, snooze on the news, just do it for 30 days. And some people are addicted to it. You're gonna fight, and and I'm telling you, I've had people curse me out. You don't tell me what to do, you just think it's such and such. And I'm like, listen, if you would stop listening to all that negative stuff in the morning when I run into you, it wouldn't always be that I'm running into you. It wouldn't always be foolish, but maximize what you can maximize. Control what you can control, and that's us, finding a way to make it happen. Because going back to that same example, okay, we will be all over the news, we will be, Oprah doesn't even have a show anymore, but we'll bring Oprah back and be on Oprah talking about, I went to this doctor, I was 2 months pregnant, he said, just because the baby wasn't growing the way he should, or she should, we're just gonna stop and let the child, we're gonna go through the 9 months and then bring the child out stillborn, and then we're gonna start over again. Do we have 9 months in the school system, the school year? It used to be like about 9 months, right? And I didn't even try to make that analogy. But hey, listen, we have a chance to change the world. And this is not just cliche, because just like Muhammad said, and a lot of you already agree because you probably have heard it before, teaching makes every other profession possible. And then also thinking about the negative side of that as well. Every gang leader, every drug dealer, every drug pusher, every mass murderer, they were taught by somebody, okay? Even if it was just at home. But a lot of them are relinquished to the school system, and we have what we have. We have what we have, no more, no less. And so making excuses, think about the time, the energy that we use making excuses and complaining and telling people they don't understand our plight and how they throwing too much. What if we used all that energy to actually sit down and do some problem solving? Right, so I guess that's my other timer, right? Somebody always like, sit down. And so, listen, I definitely want to bless you all for allowing me to come here, because even if I don't get to do any more work with you all, where there's more time and we can go through some programs and things, that's fine. Just me coming here, I know somebody actually heard something that will change their lives. If not, I wouldn't have come, okay? But I do want to bless people, a couple people with some things. I usually don't just do drawings because that's not life. You don't just luckily get up to, find things sometimes. We know success, the definition of success, right? When preparation means opportunity, right? So anybody could just stand up and tell me what the 5G stands for. Anybody can just stand up and tell me what the 5G, because you might say, well, I don't need it, but you might later on. Okay.
Grateful.
Okay.
What you're grateful for. What did I give today?
Okay.
What did I gain today? What negativity did I give up? And what is my goal?
All right. Awesome. We have 5 for that. Yes. What's your name?
Miss Jones.
Miss Jones. Okay, Miss Jones. So it's more than a high five. I'm gonna give you a signed copy of my book, Better Than Average. And this is a good book. It's a good book. I've trained hundreds of people in the Better Than Average mindset makeover. The Better Than Average educators. Hopefully, one day, I don't know what the restraints are here, but one day some of you all may be able to train in that program. But I will give you a signed copy of that. And I want to thank you for not just taking the initiative, but actually writing down and going, because even if you might say I don't need it now, later you might look back and reflect, and God will show you something that He did not show me. And so I'll get a chance to sign that in a minute before I get it to you. Another person, this is not something I went over necessarily. This is something that's going to have to come from the inside of you. Somebody stand up and tell me what's your greatest strength here. You personally, not as a school, what's your greatest strength here, and what is the greatest challenge you're facing dealing with educating young people in this environment? That takes a little more. All right, Muhammad.
No, go ahead.
No, I think she was just kind of putting her hand on her cheek. I thought she had her hand up.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, that was emotional. That's fine. Okay.
Can you repeat
You buying time now, right?
I answer it correctly.
Let me get a water break, okay?
I like to buy a vowel.
All right. It said you buying time. Yes, person. What's your name?
Barnes, Aramis.
All right, Miss Barnes, Miss Aramis. Tell me what your personal greatest strength is with educating young people, and what is your greatest challenge at the time?
My strength, I can easily connect with them.
Okay.
For a lot of different reasons. And then a challenge, I find it more so
this, and what I have something for you. Hold on. Number 5. The last thing is focus, and that's the acronym. Anybody think they know what focus stands for? Thank you for doing that. Thank you for standing up and standing out. Because a lot of people can stand up, but a lot of people won't stand up. But it's something different to stand out. You had to come up with it on your own, and it's sad that maybe some people never thought about that before I just asked that question. If you're going to be a great educator, you must know that every day. What is my greatest strength so I can play to it and I can make it stronger and I can use it every day, use it up so God can give me more and more every day? And then what's my greatest challenge? Because I'm always looking for ideas. I'm always looking to hook up with somebody. If I hear something, a clip, or read something in a magazine that says, hey, how do you get young men to change their self-image? And it's like, boom, that really piqued my interest because that's where my heart is. That's the challenge that I have, right? But if you're all the time just wondering, going through loss, I'm just here to be here. I'm here to make a living, not make a change, right? And so you have to reflect on what's my greatest strength, what's my greatest challenge. Notice I didn't say problem, okay? A lot of times in my seminars, I teach about the power of language. It's not a problem until we see it as a problem. It's a challenge, it's an opportunity, right? And a lot of times we train ourselves for that. What I have for you is, I know at where I go, a pedicure costs about 26, I think they recently went up to 28. So I don't know where you go. You may go somewhere way higher end than that. But I'm gonna give you $30 so you can get some rest, so you can go and get a pedicure. Now you can do what you choose with it, but I pray you go and do something. If you don't do pedicures, do something for you, whether it's go to sushi. You do? All right, the Lord just worked that out for you. Because we have to make sure that we are whole and take the rest we need once again to show up and be great. So we first got to grow up and show it. The last one, and I'm getting ready to go. Focus. The acronym. Anybody said, and you might have Googled it by now, but guess what? There's so many acronyms on there, so it probably didn't work anyway. Okay. All right. Focus. Anybody think they know what focus is? Yes, sir.
Faith, organization, compassion, understanding, and strength. That's what I think it means to me.
That's your personal one. Great. Y'all give it up for him. What's your name? What's your name?
Mr. Yankee.
Mr. Yankee?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome, Mr. Yankee. So what I have for you is this right here. A lot of times people might not give you the time that you need, so this is a door hanger that I made that said, please allow me this time, I'm growing through something. On the other side, it's a tape session. Think and pray every day. I don't know if you have an office or a room where you can go and quiet and people leave you alone there, but hang it on the door and use that time for God to give you some great ideas, okay? All right, thank you, Mr. Yankee. But the acronym that I go by for focus is follow one course until successful. Follow one course until successful. For the next 30 days, find something, whatever your challenge is, and say, I'm going to do everything I can to find a solution to this issue, this challenge. It's not a problem. So Aramis, right?
Yes,
Aramis was saying, hey, I have a problem with young men having a positive image of themselves and not seeing or not believing that they have to see the images they have on TV. And the issue with that, I said this when I was in high school, that until we have more fathers at home and more fathers and men taking up time with these young men, they're going to wear their pants here because the father they see is Lil Wayne. The father that they see is T.I. and they wear their pants here. And so that's the only person I know that has power, that has authority, so I'm going to wear my pants there. That as well as young women. If young women will stop talking to men with pants down here, they will because most of the things that men do, males do, is for women attention. Okay? And that's biblical. But you say no. All right? Listen. Going to work, doing that kind of stuff, I'm not going to get into that. But nevertheless, first of all, if we had more men in their lives, not just somebody stepping up and saying, I'm the mentor, I came to talk to you for the day with the suit and their pants up here, but more people that they respect, that are in their communities with their pants up here, that's one. And two, if females would stop talking to young men with their pants hanging down and say, listen, you don't have anything to say to me until you go and get dressed properly, right? But as long as the girls think it's cute, hey, they'll continue to do it, right? But back to my point. As long when for the next 30 days, if Aramis is saying I want to look at every article, I want to talk to any person who knows about changing the image. If there's a positive male in the community that's doing this, and this, having this, I want to do everything possible. I'm going to have that wit, whatever it takes, to make sure that this challenge is not always a challenge for me. Because we're supposed to be growing and evolving every day. The same challenge that was a challenge for you last year should not be a challenge for you this year. It should not. And like I said, I taught for 13 years. I went from a below average teacher to one of the best teachers in the state. I don't know how many of you have been in education long enough that you were here when they got that merit bonus thing. They did it one time. I was so happy to be in the number. And it's like, oh, you teach so good, your results show this. Let me send you a little check. Nice size check, right? And you the top 10% in the state. I love that, right? Congratulations, whoever said it was real nice. All right. I mean, if you got one, great. You heard about it? It was nice. You got it?
Yeah.
It was really nice. It was awesome, and it was a time I was like, oh Lord, thank you. Right? It has paid off. But for the next 30 days, find something that you want to focus on. It could be personal. It could be, because guess what? If it's personal, you take care of it, it's going to flow over into your professional. Because first of all, like I said, we got to start with us. All right. I really appreciate you all being attentive, being engaged. It's been an awesome time. I hope to work with some of you all in the near future and do more and have more hands-on things. And guess what? This is old school. Some people may have laughed when I brought this up, but really that's a teaching tool. Okay? When you have everything already typed up and you have slides and that kind of stuff, it's great and it has its place, and I use all that in my class. But when they have to anticipate what you're writing and you're over here like, they're like, Brackins, okay, all right. So they're trying to see what you're gonna say next, and that's to keep them engaged, right? Using the different markers. Those are just teaching tools. Just a couple things. And some of you this is probably old stuff for you all. Just using their name, greeting them in the morning. That's a great way to say, hey, listen. Everybody else may have told you stuff and gave you excuses, but I'm not gonna give you an excuse. And that's another thing. Thank you, Lord. That's another thing. Okay. You guys know Al Roker, and I don't consider that in the news because it's a show they have like music artists and stuff like that, right? Al Roker, right? All right, so Al Roker, they did a tribute to dads and stuff on Father's Day. So Al Roker's dad said, he said his dad told him, sometimes you have to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. You heard that before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But he said your children shouldn't know anything about Peter. They shouldn't know anything about Paul. Right? That's in your own household, but in your classroom, same thing. If you can't stand Miss XYZ across the hall from you, your students should know anything about it, because she could be the bomb.com in her room for them, right? And also, even if she hasn't, you don't take that away from her, okay? Let her own character take that away from her. If you have an issue with what they sent from downtown, take it up with downtown, not, oh, you know what? Y'all gonna get this and this because I don't have time to do such and such. And the kids are like, man, I already got so much negative energy. Man, what I had to go through just to get here this morning. What I gotta go back to in a few hours. Man, I hope they have something good for lunch because I haven't eaten in like, man, I sure hope that my dad don't hurt my mom before I get back. Man, I really wish I could, find out why I have this going on and I'm just this age. Man, I really wish that, and guess what? You want to put more on it versus being saying, hey, I'm going to be an outstanding person. So you not only can you can't wait to see me when you get here, but I'm going to have something to give you as well. We're not going to just be friends and buddies. It's going to be, hey, Charlie skipped Ms. Johnson's class, but he comes to my class every day early, having that same experience. Doing these 5 things, just take it 30 days. Just give it a chance if you say, I can be better. Not that you have anything wrong right now, but I can be better. I'm always striving to be better. Because it's a lot of people, a lot of teachers. I used to hate that little cliche, those who can't do teach. That's ridiculousness. That's why I strive. My thing was I was striving to make sure I was doing and teaching at the same time, showing kids exactly what business looks like, showing kids not just from a book but from your life. This is what I do, making your story transparent, and that's it. And some of you may know me. I saw a few people that I kind of know, so you may know a little bit about my story. I don't have the time to share it, but if you knew, you would know why. Okay. I can't accept just doing what everybody else does. And none of us can, because think about that little baby in that 9-month period. Thank you all so much. Have a great day, a wonderful rest of the year, and an awesome life.